Hello, hello, and welcome back to Nature's Galaxy. I'm your host and talkative friend Luna. Thank you so much for stopping by and trusting me with your cards. This reading is for Pisces. All right, let's go ahead and jump into it. So, the first card that popped out for you guys was Light Language, Light Work. With the new moon in Taurus, there's going to be some conversations that you are having to repeat yourself again. You're put in the coach role, you're put in the teacher role, and or there's certain resources and or needs that need to be discussed at this time, especially concerning your second house, resources. So, it's coming through as the second house, but I know depending on the degrees, the geometry of the sky, it's either the second house or the third house for you Pisces with this Taurus energy, potentially the fourth, but we're going to go ahead and stick to resources, not just the home. Okay. Here we also have Chiron. So if you have Aries placements, Chiron is being highlighted. From what I believe, there are some interesting trines between Chiron and Pluto. Excuse me, I had some ice cream earlier. Went to a graduation, got some ice cream afterwards. So my apologies if I need to take like a break here or there. But anyway, in terms of light language, light work, there are some repeated patterns in some way, shape, form, or fashion that are playing out in your life. You're needing to reset in terms of your own habits. And for others of you, especially the women out there, it's time for you to get to the root of the matter, and that has more to do with your nervous system at this time. Finding ways to regulate yourself, whether this is painting, drawing, writing, whether this is design, potentially playing games to a certain degree, okay? But I also believe for others of you, you're just going to be diving more into how you can use your oxytocin more freely, how you can slow down a little bit more. So for the feminines, that's especially geared towards you. For the masculines, it doesn't mean you shouldn't slow down. Of course, you do need to slow down. The new moon in Taurus, the energy highlighted here is about slow movement. Okay? Don't feel too excluded here, all right? So we do have masks around you. I believe the mask here are the beginning degrees, especially with Pluto now retrograde, where it's highlighting to you this new journey of self transformation, the new journey on vulnerability, a new journey on healing your human experience. Okay, so some of you could be feeling this a little bit more intensely than others. Again, just depending on where your Pisces degree begins and ends, the energy that it also affects around it. Probably gearing towards the positive for some of you. For others of you, if you're having this inner battle of of the projections being thrown your way, there are, especially if you have Aries placements as well, you need somebody to advocate for you coming up. And it's hard for you to let go of that control. But this is something that your energy is craving at this time that I don't think Leo energy or Sagittarius energy can get in on right now. Aries energy needs to find people who advocate for them. I think you're also going to open up your feelers to who, of course, in this big, vast world minds their business compared to the people who have made your energy more expensive because you now know what neglect feels like. You have no choice but to raise the bar. You know what rock bottom feels like, so you're going to keep going up. So this isn't necessarily to comb the ego. Saturn is in Aries, so I don't think that's what this is about at all. Saturn does have ego, but it's off of confidence in the discipline, in resilience, in showing up in this earthly realm of if you get too close, you can become someone that can feel too scattered. So, interesting enough with Saturn in your second house, if this is what the astrology is also pointing to. The advocation for yourself and the repeated notion that you have to keep still, imprinting to a certain degree and to a certain level. Actually, I think there's a lot of heavy Pisces Aries influence in this reading that I'm picking up on because Chiron right now is still in Aries. So, healing finances or a new chapter of healing your finances has started. And as you also begin on this, you want to help teach others. That's up to you if you want to put a paywall with it. Just putting it out there for somebody who that's going to resonate more so with. Outside of that, getting back to the Saturn energy again, there are going to be people who get a little bit too close. And I don't think it's the time for them to even hint that they are interested in your money because Saturn is almost kind of like tearing them apart accidentally. Like, unless they already come with this Saturn energy, this Saturn nature, where it's breaking you down to put you back together in the way of a diamond, in the way of a ruby, to melt you down into gold, they're just not, they're wearing a mask. They're not for you. So if some people have dipped from your life, they're wearing a mask. They're not for you. Saturn says no. Saturn says no. So again, one of the first cards that you had was light language, light work. If you feel like you've had and have been carrying a heavy load, even mentally, like say you've had help recently, but, or maybe not even recently, for a while now, but subconsciously with Pluto riding in your 12th house or 12th house energy, it's a little hard to let go when you feel that weight, when you feel that grief, when you feel that water weight. Because there's a certain comfort of knowing that certain situations always showed up the way they were, comfort showed up the way it was supposed to be. Now, for others of you, if there are good people around you, you've had these good people friends, and they seem to be distancing themselves from you. I don't necessarily think they're wearing a mask, but I think you have unintentionally been giving them tough love for a while, and they're going to start giving themselves the gentle love that they've always wanted, and they've kind of just like bounced. Is this a good versus evil type of situation? I think you can get lost in that. So I don't believe it's necessarily time to always jump into that. I think this is a time of knowing that you're going through a shedding with this Chiron energy here. A bit lonely, but for some of you, you need to make peace with that liminal space within you again. What has made your energy not only expensive and exclusive, but has put you on your highest timeline? And or this is the feeling of it's lonely at the top. A Virgo energy here, Aries energy there. So Virgo and or an Aries can be important in your chart, or you could be dealing with these people. Either way, with divine timing here, try not to get lost in too much anxiety. I know easier said than done, but there's something here where it's like, if you put this into the universe, you're going to get that much back, especially with my energy is expensive and exclusive here. Whatever you give out to the universe right now, you might not get an immediate return. So please watch any type of loaning or giving people certain money. Like if you're secure, it's like one of those situations where like if you're secure in your money and you don't mind giving it away, then donate, then give. If you're not, then just hold back. Don't feel guilty about that. I mean, like that is what you naturally feel. You can't turn that around. A feeling becomes logic. Doesn't mean it's always going to stay there like a belief, but it imprints. And right now, the channeled situation that I'm also getting for some of you guys is like the whole Rihanna ASAP Rocky thing that's going on right now. Even if you're not like following pop culture, hear me out for a second. Early 2000s, Rihanna was dating Chris Brown. Interesting, I'm also bringing that up because Mars will be going into Cancer, I think, in the coming weeks or something like that. So there is like an exposure of what didn't want to be exposed coming up. Outside of that, again, years ago, her face was plastered everywhere in the magazines, online, of what happened to her in terms of the encounter, the altercation Chris Brown had with Rihanna, and how excessive it was. So now, years later, she has moved on, but I think now she has this curse and a blessing mixture here with you're able to see the other side now. Unfortunately, but fortunately, of course, she has children in the mix. So, of course, it's going to be a little harder. So, with I am living on my highest timeline and or living in my highest timeline for some of you Pisces out there, self-care with the nervous system. I didn't want to put on this light, but hold on. It's going to be storming all week. So happy, so excited, love it. But it was getting a little bit too dark even for me watching me read these cards. So there's that. So there are some of you where an ex is afraid to contact you because of the awful, terrible things that they have done, the face that they have worn beforehand. It does seem like they have mirrored or life has mirrored their actions upon them again. Whether you know it or not, especially if you have Aquarius placements, Aquarius placements, I can even put myself in here as an example. We, yeah, sure, somebody can do us wrong, but I know for our energy, karma doesn't really hit people if we're looking at them. Like the watch pot never boils, but like karma edition. If we're watching over you, it's the same thing with Cancers, it's the same thing with Libras, it's the same thing with Pisces, where if you're looking at it, where you're just like, oh, this person is hurting me, you're instant karma for you, and maybe you think that or have thought that, or you're just like, okay, ouch, owie, let me turn the other cheek naturally. Let me naturally let go. Let me naturally release. Let me recognize that if we're playing tug of war and I never agreed to this tug of war, let me let go and let's see what happens. So there's that small karma lesson for the day if you needed it. because it does seem like whether it's your own belief playing tug of war with you, whether you see things on the other side of the line, where now you see what happened on the other foot, things are coming into some interesting perspectives for you, as again, Pluto being retrograde in your 12th house. It obviously, the cards say second house, resources, Chiron. My apologies if I am redirecting some of this energy elsewhere. I don't mean to be intellectually distracted in your reading, but I also think it's important because of how the channel messages were coming through. But okay, second house resources with Chiron. Your finances have been healing, and or you're recognizing where you're still in a deadlock with codependency somewhere. Maybe this has something to do with a landlord. Maybe this has something to do with a past relationship. Maybe you want to drain all of this emotional and financial wooty woo X, Y, and or Z through a person and or relationship. Just depends. You want to play the ending of this fool or this fool's story. The arrow's still going through the hand. It may have gone through the apple, but it's still gone through the hand. So, in your own way, what was the logic here? Can you grow past where the arrow went? Because you know you don't want to take it out too fast, and you might cause more damage, right? It's that whole what's his name? It was like Steve something. He was on Animal Planet, but unfortunately his heart was pierced due to a stingray, and somebody through sheer panic pulled the stingray out of his chest, and then he ended up like bleeding to death. I forgot his name. It's one of those situations. So the healing financially that you're going through now needs a little bit more time for you to articulate how to heal your wound properly. Okay. This has a lot to do with divine timing and or the maze of codependency that you're waking up from right now, whether you have children with someone or not. This could be a contract again. It could have something to do with leasing, it could have something to do with a building, could have something to do with your government even. Hell, I get it. I fucking get it. What is it? I'm so jelly pants. What is it? All the socialist groups are happening up north. I am so jelly sandwich without the peanut butter. It's not even funny. I've been over here shouting socialism since Bernie Sanders, and then it's always the cold places first. It's whatever. It's fine. It's cool. It's not that I'm like salty about it or anything. It's not like I voted for it or anything. Anyway, at least it's on record. Okay, ignore me. But anyway, and no, 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 I'm not talking about like the some kind of weird dictatorship finds its way underneath socialism and kind of roots it out and turns it corrupt. I'm not talking about that kind. I'm talking about like actual socialist groups where we all got to put something in the pot for all of us to benefit in one way or a fucking another. So the world can benefit off of its true energy. But what do I know? What do I know? Okay, sarcasm to the side. I'm sorry. It's like, I didn't make you sarcastic. Why are you doing it? I'm sorry. It's the world. It's the world that did. I'm just kidding. Sorry, went emo moment for a second. Okay, I'll stop. But getting back to the reading, art, dance, exercise. If it's been a while, if it's been a few seasons where you haven't been able to do this, it looks like the cards are telling you you have this new permission to dance, to exercise, to make some art, to create. Have some healthy boundaries, especially if you are a creative. If you are an artist, if it is in you, an artist is an artist is an artist is an artist is an artist. A writer is a writer is a writer is a writer. Just like a mother is a mother is a mother is a mother. All the way down the generations. So for the artists, especially the mothers out there, am I doing too much? Maybe not enough. Maybe that's what some of you would say to me. No, 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 you can keep going. It hurts, but keep going. Okay, I'm making jokes now. I gotta go. I gotta go, Pisces. Soon, soon. Let me. 12th house Pisces energy. It's working on me already. Okay. Yes, I'm gonna wrap it up so you can truly get this message. In the meantime, if things have had a little bit of a slowdown, they are going to pick back up again in terms of your creativity or you putting yourself out there. Give it a little bit of time. People in their own way also want to be exclusive. Things have become expensive. There's a new fast paced movement going on, and it's quite hot. Needing to rest, needing to lounge. Set some of your time aside for this. For some of you, if you're workaholics, you've been workaholics, I understand how some of you need to put food on the table. I hope you get the rest that you are so deeply that you so deeply have earned. For others of you, if you have the time to spare, take some time off. The mass that's also going around you, it's a very interesting, insecure, masculine time right now. It doesn't matter how much money you have. The moment they see da 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 da, they might become insecure. Now, if you're a guy watching this, I'm so sorry to put you on blast like that. My bad. But even, with the ladies, if you've been in your masculine energy for a while, it is time to slow down. Again, if you can afford, if you have earned a place to rest, I would do so. Now, for me, I know I'll be taking my rest in like October. Not like on my way out of here into the next life or anything like that, but I'm talking about like I know I'm gonna be like working quite a bit, and that's my plan all the way up until like October. That's when I feel like I'll really feel like this deep transformation unfold. Like for me, as an Aquarius rising with 0 degrees, when Pluto goes direct later this year, it'll be done. It'll be done with me. Sure, I can like say, oh, I could have done more, and I'll still be doing more. I'm still gonna be working hard. But it's not so much for the dollar. It really is like I've gone through it. Okay. And for the Pisces placements, you kind of feel what I mean coming up. And so let me also be like a little bit of a reminder to you. Whether you're about and you see it, you're about to go through it, you have been going through it because you do have these Aquarius placements. Friend, I've been going through it. And by October, Pluto's going to be like, okay, I'm done. And it's just one of those things where it was hard, but since in different ways I took the lead on certain things, I get how some people can be pissed off, but like I really did that. I really helped all of you. And y'all can't take that shit away from me. I know that's how I'm going to feel. So I'm going to feel so deeply in October. Like y'all gave me a lot of tough love. But after all of this is done, and obviously I gave some tough love back, it is what it is. But by October hits, look, Pluto will never be able to transit that energy ever again unless I, come back to a certain degree over like 100 years from now or something like that. But it's done with me. I lived certain experiences that people will never live. And I healed and have been healing through it. Sorry, that was my necklace if you're hearing that. I'll be done. It's not to say like I'll be done with like life experiences in total, but I think I'll get into it later when I really start my short story, poetry, art channel. Yes, yes, I'm still working on everything behind the scenes. I've also gotten some help too, so that is also really nice. And it's one thing to have like help online, but it's another thing where, um, people one on one, like you can meet up with them. Yeah, I'm a 90s baby, so I still need that like physical contact of just like, okay, I see you, XYZ, XYZ. So, anyway, I'm gonna start babbling some more and again, but Pisces, thank you so much for stopping by, trusting me with your cards and all that jazz. If I'm missing anything, go ahead and put it in the comments, and I will definitely talk about it next time. Pisces, whenever you're watching this, I hope you have a great morning, noon, evening, and or night. Congratulations if you have any children who have graduated or walking into their last year to whatever degree of schooling that they're in, elementary, middle, high school. I'll see you later.